Hey everybody, my name's Kibui, and this is,
Christine Butt.
and we have had the privilege of knowing each other for better part of about 12 years, and we play in kind of the same fields. I am somebody who has done loans for close to 20 years, and you have been selling homes for how long?
8 years.
Okay. And so between the two of us, we feel like we have a fair bit of knowledge that we want to share with you. And a lot of our friends and family have been asking us, what's going to happen in 2025? Is that the year that the housing market's going to go bust? Are we going to have a ton of foreclosures so we can get great prices? And we just want to have a quick video to discuss it with you and kind of give you some insight in what you should prepare for 2025. In case you missed it, we had an election and we have an incoming presidency. So the incumbent lost, incumbent presidential group lost, and we have a new president coming in. He is a pro-business president, and so it's important for him to have lower rates so that there's more lending in the industry, whether it's like car loans, commercial credit, mortgages. He's pro-business, so one of the things that he is going to intently work on is improving the economy. Now, first question is, why were rates so high the past 2 years? The Fed, which is an independent group that operates without interference from the president or the Senate or the House, had taken an approach to reduce inflation by increasing lending rates. So most of this year, when they probably were under pressure to reduce rates, they refused to do so in the interest of making sure that the economy is healthy by reducing inflation. What's going to happen now is that we're going to go into a new year, new presidency, and the potential for better rates is going to come in, which will help the market. And so, before we talk about lending per se, we're going to talk about the housing market. And Christine, what are we seeing out there in DFW and North Texas in particular?
So generally in the DFW area, we currently have a lot of homes on the market. We are still in a neutral market, so it's neither a seller's market nor a buyer's market. But current inventory is at about 3 months. So what that means for buyers is buyers have options. There's inventory they can choose from, both from pre-owned homes and from new construction homes. One of the benefits for buyers right now is that new home construction builders have lots of incentives that they're offering. Though the rates may be high, the buyers are at an advantage because they have options. They can choose. If you can remember a few years back, 2020 into 2021, 22, there was literally no inventory. Buyers had to, you see a home, you like it, you put an offer on it, and chances were there were multiple offers and people were bidding in this North Texas area. It was over 100K in some instances or more. So one of the good things again for buyers right now is builders have incentives, they have inventory, and they have choices to choose from. Now for pre-owned homes, we still again have 3 months worth of inventory, so they have options. They can go in and they have options to be able to choose what they want. For buyers, one thing I want to emphasize is this is a good time to buy because what that does for you is since you do have the options to get into a new home, is you can get into the home of your choice. The rates may be high, but you're not contending with multiple offers. And then whenever the rates do come down, you have the option to refinance. One of the things, as Kibui mentioned, is, we have a new administration. The new administration is huge on improving the economy. So one of the things we may be able to see in the coming years is that the rates are going to begin to come down. Once those rates begin to come down, what that means is we're going to have more buyers flooding the market. When we have more buyers flooding the market, we begin to see the housing market leaning more towards a seller's market because we're going to have more buyers flooding the market and then inventory is going to go down. When we have more buyers flooding the market, then we're going to run into multiple offer situations. So if you are a buyer that's currently not in a position to or doesn't want to go into the multiple offer situation, be in a multiple offer situation, then this is a great time for you to go ahead and buy. What do you think, Kibui? What about the mortgage market?
So, one of the things that you've heard realtors telling their clients over the years is date the rate and marry the home.
Marry the home, yep.
So, a lot of realtors have had to eat their words because their clients have been calling them saying, hey, you said the rates were going to go down. You said they're going to get better. When are they going to get better? Realtors don't know. most mortgage consultants, we really don't know. And there's so many variables that are going to affect the market. So we don't know if it's going to be another 6, 12, 18, or 24 months before we see a reduction in rate. Rates are at an all-time, like 20-year high. So when I say 20-year high, going back to the early 2000s, this is where rates were. This was a common rate. The big difference is the homes cost maybe a quarter or a third of what they are today. So affordability is a challenge. The question is, can you afford the house now? Because if you can afford the house now, then it's not a bad thing. In fact, I would strongly suggest that you secure your home and you buy it now, and just know that eventually, when rates do eventually come down, then you're going to see some savings in your monthly payments then. I highly doubt that, barring a huge financial collapse, we're going to go back to rates in the threes. We've been spoiled for so long. So many people have neighbors and friends and family who have the 2% rate. What's wrong with you? You missed out on the bus. You missed the bus, but you're going to have an opportunity to buy a home now, because something that didn't happen 5 years ago, 10 years ago, was we didn't have institutional investors, the big funds that are buying out whole neighborhoods, whole subdivisions. Yeah. You're competing with them too. You're not just competing with the mom and pop who are trying to buy one or two, investment properties for their family and for their savings and investment for the future. You're competing with big companies that have billions of dollars. So rates, will rates go down next year? The Fed chairman said that he's not going to be pushed out of his job. So if he sticks to his guns, I don't foresee rates going down in the first or second quarter of next year. Maybe towards the end of the year, as the economy improves as a whole, then we may see some changes. If he gets removed and a more compliant Fed chairman comes in, then we may see a quicker shift in the rates, and then a quicker shift in the market flipping from neutral to a seller's market.
Correct.
Okay. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you're a seller now, or you want to rent out your house, well, what are you feeling? What's going on out there for you?
So right now, again, as mentioned, we're looking at both for sellers and landlords who are trying to either sell or lease out their houses. We're looking at 2 to 3 months worth of inventory. Homes are sitting on the markets over 60, 70 days, even we've seen over 80 and 90 days. One of the most important things for you to do is, one, you want to price your home competitively. Take a look at the CMA, which is a comparative market analysis. See what previous homes that have sold within the past, pretty much month. It's not even, we're no longer looking at 90 days, pretty much last month. And then you want to price it competitively to sell. You either price it to sell, you can either price it to sell or price it to sit. So the choice is up to you. And then the biggest thing, again, is once you do get these offers coming in, because the offers are not cut in some markets, it depends. DFW is really vast in the different markets that we have. Once you do have those offers come in, try and work with them as much as you can. I mean, of course, if it's if your agent has done their due diligence and you know that the comparative
qualified buyer.
Yeah, you have a qualified buyer, the comparative market analysis matters, then definitely you want to be able to consider the offers that do come in. I think it's advisable to, again, not sit and wait for a best offer, or and sometimes as sellers, we've been sellers, we've been landlords before, and we currently are, where you want to wait for this ideal, this is the price I want and this is the price I'm going to wait for. Now, you want to go with what the market is saying. The market dictates what your house is going to sell or lease for. Listen to the market, listen to your real estate agent. They should be advising you to go by what the market is saying right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've sold homes where we personally overpriced a home. And we had a good offer, and we held out and ended up selling the home for less. And we've had homes where we priced it aggressively, and then we had bidding wars and ended up selling it for more than we listed it for.
Yes.
So the key here is making sure that you price it correctly. You need to emotionally detach yourself from the value and what you want to get. Sometimes what people do is they'll come up with a number that's going to take care of their bills. I'm going to pay off the car that we bought. We have a vacation. There's Jimmy needs some new Jordans.
There's a lot of land
There's land to buy,
to purchase.
and we have to buy another property. So sometimes you're doing the math in your head with what you want to get and what you're going to do with it. You need to do it in reverse. You need to look at a realistic value with a professional, and work out what you're going to end up netting after the fact. I think it's time for you to have partners who will ask you the hard questions and challenge you. If somebody just goes along with what you're saying and doesn't push back on maybe what you want to list your house for, you may want to think twice about working with them. Sometimes the hardest conversations are the most important conversations when it's real estate.
Absolutely.
Time is not your friend in real estate when you're trying to sell, right? Especially in a
Time is of the essence.
in a neutral or a buyer's market. If you're a seller, you have to make very hard decisions about what you're willing to take. And if you're not ready to make that decision, then you having your house sit on the market for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, that hurts you. So keep that in mind as you're thinking of selling your home. You need to have the right partners who are going to counsel you and ask you the hard questions and guide you in the right way, right?
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. We've, again, worked with clients before who they have that, as Kibui's mentioned, that ideal price, this is the price I need to sell, this is what I need to net in order for us to take that vacation, or for me to buy that additional investment property, or to purchase whatever it is that you want to purchase.
Pay college tuition.
Or invest the money, put it into whatever investment you want to put it in.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's important to go by what the market is saying. The market dictates what your house is going to sell for.
Sure.
So pay attention to that. Your house will spend less time on the market as a seller, and you'll be able to net as much as you can, and then be able to move that money to your next project, whatever that project may be.
Okay. So in summary, the question is, next year going to be a housing bust? Are we going to have a ton of foreclosures? I don't think so. I think the market's going to be relatively flat. It's not going to be a bust. I think there'll be a bit of deflation on prices. The pressure on the builders giving all these incentives is being reflected in the prices on pre-owned homes. That's why homes are sitting. If you're a pre-owned home, you may have to give incentives for closing costs, for repairs. You may have to cover concession on the price, including giving those concessions if you want to sell your home. Rate buy downs.
Rate buy down. That's huge with the builders. That's one of the incentives that they're giving to the buyers right now. So as a seller, you definitely want to consider that.
If you're selling your home as an individual, affordability is a key point, right? And so the builders have the upper hand because they have deep pockets. So you'll have to make those decisions if you want your house to sell and sell quickly. And so there's not going to be a crash. A lot of some analysts are saying that there's a huge backlog of inventory. If you talk about inventory that may not have equity, it's home loans that were done in 2023, late 22, 23, and 24. Most of those loans were done with what we call the ability to repay. These are people who can afford those homes based on underwriting guidelines. So I would say, even if push comes to shove, if they have to make a decision to sell the home, you make a decision to sell the home, maybe you break even, maybe you lose a little bit of money, but you can avoid having a foreclosure. But I don't think there's going to be a housing bust. I think at some point towards the middle or later in the year, we'll start to see a little crest going up when rates drop down a bit, and we'll go from there. So that's it. It's not going to bust.
It's not going to bust. So buyers who are sitting on the fence waiting for the market to crash, again, as we mentioned, we don't see that happening. If you're a buyer, especially I want to emphasize for first-time home buyers, this is a great time to be able to purchase, because again, once those rates begin to go down, you're going to have investors flooding the market, and a lot of investors, and these are some of also the big box investors who are purchasing properties in bulk, and what that does is it takes the first-time home buyer off the market, and they're not able to afford a home. So if you're a first-time home buyer, this is a great time to buy. Reach out to Kibui and myself. We have a wealth of knowledge. We'll be able to guide you and get you into the home of your dreams.
So follow Jambi at Jambi Sells DFW on Instagram.
TikTok. I've started talking.
And she will get you into a home that you need.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.